to Conscious Reminder channel. Please subscribe to our channel for more updates. Topic today is
5 sneaky things narcissists do to take advantage of you. In popular culture, the term narcissistic is thrown about quite loosely, usually referring to vanity and self-absorption. This reduces narcissism to a common quality that everyone possesses and downplays the symptoms demonstrated by people with the actual disorder. While narcissism does exist on a spectrum, narcissism as a full-fledged personality disorder is quite different. People who meet the criteria for narcissistic personality disorder or those who have traits of antisocial personality disorder can operate in extremely manipulative ways within the context of intimate relationships due to their deceitfulness, lack of empathy, and their tendency to be interpersonally exploitative. Although I will be focusing on narcissistic abusers in this post, due to the overlap of symptoms in these two disorders, this can potentially apply to interactions with those who have ASPD to an extent. It's important in any kind of relationship that we learn to identify the red flags when interacting with people who display malignant narcissism and/or antisocial traits, so we can better protect ourselves from exploitation and abuse, set appropriate boundaries with others, and make informed decisions about who we keep in our lives. Understanding the nature of these toxic interactions and how they affect us has an enormous impact on our ability to engage in self-care. Watch out for the following covert manipulation tactics when you're dating someone or in any other kind of relationship. 1. The idealization devaluation discard phase. Narcissists and those with antisocial traits tend to subject romantic partners through 3 phases within a relationship. The idealization phase, which often happens most strongly during the early stages of dating or relationship, consists of putting you on a pedestal, making you the center of his or her world, being in contact with you frequently, and showering you with flattery and praise. You are convinced that the narcissist can't live without you and that you've met your soulmate. Be wary of constant texting, shallow flattery, and wanting to be around you at all times. This is a technique known as love bombing, and it is how most victims get sucked in. They are flattered by the constant attention they get from the narcissist. You may be fooled into thinking that this means a narcissist is truly interested in you, when in fact, he or she is interested in making you dependent on the constant praise and attention. The devaluation phase is subsequent to this idealization phase, and this is when you're left wondering why you were so abruptly thrust off the pedestal. The narcissist will suddenly start to blow hot and cold, criticizing you, covertly and overtly putting you down, comparing you to others, stonewalling you, emotionally withdrawing from you, and giving you the silent treatment when you failed to meet their extreme standards. Since the hot aspect of this phase relies on intermittent reinforcement in which the narcissist gives you inconsistent spurts of the idealization phase throughout, you become convinced that perhaps you are at fault and you can control the narcissist's reactions. You are misled into thinking that if you just learn not to be so needy or clingy, the narcissist will reward you with the loving behavior he or she demonstrated in the beginning. These are words that narcissists often use to demean victims when abuse victims mourn the loss of the idealization phase or react normally to being provoked. It's a way to maintain control over your legitimate emotional reactions to their stonewalling, emotional withdrawal, and inconsistency. Unfortunately, it is during the devaluation phase that a narcissist's true self shows itself. You have to understand that the man or woman in the beginning of the relationship never truly existed. The true colors are only now beginning to show, so it will be a struggle as you attempt to reconcile the image that the narcissist presented to you with his or her current behavior. Even though the narcissist can be quite possessive and jealous over you, since he or she views you as an object and a source of narcissistic supply, the narcissist is prone to projecting this behavior onto you. The narcissist makes you seem like the needy one as you react to his or her withdrawal and withholding patterns, even though the expectations of frequent contact were established early on in the relationship by the narcissist himself. During the discard phase, the narcissist abandons his or her victim in the most horrific, demeaning way possible to convince the victim that he or she is worthless. This could range from leaving the victim for another lover, humiliating the victim in public, blatantly ignoring the partner for a long period of time, being physically aggressive, and a whole range of other demeaning behaviors to communicate to the victim that he or she is no longer important. Although normal relationships can end in a similar this manner as well, the difference is that the narcissist often makes it clear he or she intends to hurt you by giving you the silent treatment, spreading rumors about you, cheating on you, insulting you, and disrespecting you during the discard phase. Unlike normal partners, they ensure that you never have closure, and if you decide to leave them, they might decide to stalk you to show that they still have control. 2. Gaslighting. While healthy relationships have room for respectful disagreement and consideration of one's feelings, with the narcissist, gaslighting and constant emotional invalidation become the norm. Gaslighting is a technique abusers use to convince you that your perception of the abuse is inaccurate. During the devaluation and discard phases, the narcissist will often invalidate and criticize your emotions, and displace any blame of his or her abuse as your fault. Frequent use of phrases such as "you provoked me," "you're too sensitive," "I never said that," or "you're taking things too seriously" after the narcissist's abusive outbursts are common and are used to gaslight you into thinking that the abuse is indeed your fault or that it never even took place. Narcissists are masters of making you doubt yourself and the abuse. This is why victims so often suffer even after the ending of a relationship with a narcissist, because the emotional invalidation they received from the narcissist made them feel powerless in their agency and perceptions. This self-doubt enables them to stay within abusive relationships even when it's clear that the relationship is a toxic one, because they are led to mistrust their own instincts and interpretations of events. 3. Smear campaigns. Narcissists keep harems because they love to have their egos stroked, and they need constant validation from the outside world to confirm their grandiose sense of self-importance and fulfill their need for excessive admiration. This is why they are clever chameleons who are also people pleasers, morphing into whatever personality suits them in situations with different types of people to get what they want. Beware of people who seem to shape-shift suddenly before your eyes into different personas. This is a red flag that they are not authentic in their interactions with you and others. It is no surprise, then, that the narcissist will probably begin a smear campaign against you not too long after the discard phase, in order to paint you as the unstable one, and that this is usually successful with the narcissist support network, which also tends to consist of other narcissists, people pleasers, empaths, as well as people who are easily charmed. The smear campaign is used to accomplish 3 things. 1. It depicts you as the abuser or unstable person and deflects your accusations of abuse. 2. It provokes you into responding, thus proving your instability to others when trying to argue his or her depiction of you. And 3. Serves as a hoovering technique in which the narcissist seeks to pull you back into the trauma of the relationship as you struggle to reconcile the rumors about you with who you actually are by speaking out against the accusations. The only way to not get pulled into this tactic is by going full no contact with both the narcissist and his or her harem. 4. Triangulation. Healthy relationships thrive on security. Unhealthy ones are filled with provocation, uncertainty, and infidelity. Narcissists like to manufacture love triangles and bring in the opinions of others to validate their point of view. They do this to an excessive extent in order to play puppeteer to your emotions. In the book Psychopath Freed by Peace, the method of triangulation is discussed as a popular way the narcissist maintains control over your emotions. Triangulation consists of bringing the presence of another person into the dynamic of the relationship, whether it be an ex-lover, a current mistress, a relative, or a complete stranger. This triangulation can take place over social media, in person, or even through the narcissist's own verbal accounts of the other woman or man. The narcissist relies on jealousy as a powerful emotion that can cause you to compete for his or her affections, so provocative statements like "I wish you'd be more like her," or "he wants me back into his life, I don't know what to do" are designed to trigger the abuse victim into competing and feeling insecure about his or her position in the narcissist's life. Unlike healthy relationships where jealousy is communicated and dealt with in a productive manner, the narcissist will belittle your feelings and continue inappropriate flirtations and affairs without a second thought. Triangulation is the way the narcissist maintains control and keeps you in check. You're so busy competing for his or her attention that you're less likely to be focusing on the red flags within the relationship or looking for ways to get out of the relationship. 5. The false self and the true self. The narcissist hides behind the armor of a false self, a construct of qualities and traits that he or she usually presents to the outside world to gain admiration and attention. Due to this armor, you are unlikely to comprehend the full extent of a narcissist's inhumanity and lack of empathy until you are in the discard phase. This can make it difficult to pinpoint who the narcissistic abuser truly is: the sweet, charming and seemingly remorseful person that appears shortly after the abuse, or the abusive partner who ridicules, invalidates and belittles you on a daily basis. You suffer a great deal of cognitive dissonance trying to reconcile the illusion the narcissist first presented to you with the tormenting behaviors he or she subjects you to. In order to cope with this cognitive dissonance, you might blame yourself for his or her abusive behavior and attempt to improve yourself when you have done nothing wrong, just to uphold your belief in the narcissist's false self during the devaluation phase. During the discard phase, the narcissist reveals the true self and you get a glimpse of the abuser that was lurking within all along. You bear witness to his or her cold, callous indifference as you are discarded. This is as close you will ever get to seeing the narcissist's true self. The manipulative, conniving charm that existed in the beginning is no more. Instead, it is replaced by the genuine contempt that the narcissist felt for you all along. See, narcissists don't truly feel empathy for others, so during the discard phase, they often feel absolutely nothing for you except the excitement of having exhausted another source of supply. You were just another source of narcissistic supply, so do not fool yourself into thinking that the magical connection that existed in the beginning was in any way real. It was an illusion, much like the identity of the narcissist was an illusion. It is time to pick up the pieces, go no contact, heal, and move forward. You are not only a victim of narcissistic abuse, but a survivor. Owning this dual status as both victim and survivor permits you to own your agency after the abuse and to live the life you were meant to lead, one filled with self-care, self-love, respect, and compassion.